Into the Stars, currently in development by Fugitive Games and released on early access on July 9, 2015, is a sort of roguelike survival space simulator where you command the ARC-13, and you are entrusted with the survival of over 10,000 civilians and your crew. Imagine FTL but with stunning graphics. I backed this game back when it was first announced, and although I do not regret my decision at all, I feel like the game is still a long ways before it can reach its full potential. A very good way to put it would be saying that the game is a diamond in the rough, which is perfectly fine for me on an early access game. Let's go over the components that are currently present in the game. Captain selection. As you begin the game, you are given the option of 4 captains with different perks. Although it might look nice, I feel like the only true viable options are the scientist and the survivalist. Each captain will boost different aspects of the game. The scientist will give your crew members +5 on the engineering skill, the military officer gives +5 toughness to every crew member, and the survivalist offers an added percentage bonus to every mission success rate.
Module selection is at your
Module selection. Here lies probably one of the trickiest parts in the game. You will be able to choose every single part of your ship. Life support provides your ship with oxygen. The protein sequencer provides your ship with food. Engine determines how fast your ship moves. The shuttle bay will allow you to send your crew to explore planets. The mining probe is an unmanned resource collector that will tell you what resources can be gathered via the mining rig. Your combat modules, free of resources, are lasers, torpedoes, and a shield. For last, you can add cargo bays to the ship that will increase the total amount of resources you can carry. Where the trick lies is that every module consumes different types of resources. You have carbon dioxide, hydrogen, biomatter, nitrogen, and magnesium, and here you will need to find the balance. While you might find a more expensive part to be better, you could cause certain components to share resources. During my playthrough, I pick parts that do not share resources. That way, I avoid the risk of having multiple components stop working because I ran out of a single resource. After you are done with modules, you will be allowed to choose the amount of resources you want to carry, based off your total cargo space, so choose wisely. The crew. You are in command of a ship, so you won't be flying alone. You can pick 6 crew members based off a list of randomly generated crew members, each one of them being better at certain tasks. There are 6 skills to consider: mining, command, engineering, piloting, medical, and toughness. Once everything is set, your ship will be released and you will be able to venture into the stars. Exploring. My actual first reaction when playing this game was, wow, this is gorgeous. The graphics for the game are by far the highest point I can find. Every part of the planets and the environment by itself is very nicely detailed. Your main goal in the game is to reach Titus Nova, the only place where you will be safe from the Scorn, a race of aliens that are bent on destroying humanity. The game might feel like it moves a little slow, but for me, that's okay, it gives me time to look around. Controls in the game are very simple, as shown when starting a new game. You can move freely around space, snap the camera off and see the environment, and also access the cockpit view. From the cockpit view, you will be able to manage many aspects of the game. You will be able to keep an eye on your oxygen and food supply, your ship status, as well as 4 additional windows. The map window is pretty self-explanatory. It's a map of the different sectors you can visit, as well as giving you an option to set course. This, of course, doesn't make your ship move on its own. It only shows you a marker on the outside view so you can keep an eye on your goal. The resource window shows the total amount of resources you have, as well as the resource consumption for every module. You can also purge and get rid of unnecessary cargo. The engineering window gives you an overview of every module in your ship, as well as being the inventory for special items you can find throughout the game. These being spare parts to repair modules or your hull, as well as special containers that you can use to boost your modules for a certain period of time. The crew window will give you an overview of your crew's current status, as well as allowing you to deal with randomly generated events that seem to be the bane of every civilian in your ship. This is one of the things that annoy me the most. No matter what you do, as soon as some sort of disaster happens, you will start to lose civilians. You won't even have time to pause the game and assign one of your crew members to deal with the problem. By then, you would have lost some people. Keep in mind that the computer will announce what kind of issue ails your ship. It is best to assign someone with the right skill to deal with the problem. For example, if the issue is of engineering, assign the crew member with the highest engineering skill. From this window, you will also be able to heal your crew. Now that this is all out of the way, let's talk about how to actually reach Titus Nova. While traveling through space, you will encounter many things. Planets, ships, both friendly, hostile, and even wreckages. While approaching planets, you will be given the option to approach it. This in turn prompts a console with 3 options you can perform. Use your shuttle to send your crew and explore the planet. Exploring will often reward you with resources, but you can also get parts and gems. There are 2 types of gems in the game as of now, red and blue. Red will allow you to run a module resource free for a determinate amount of time, where blue will increase its health. Sending a mining probe is a good way of knowing what kind of resources a planet has, thus letting you know if it's worth to send a mining rig or not. Here is where the piloting and mining skills come in handy. The higher the piloting skill the crew member has, the easier to land on a planet. After you successfully land on a planet, you will start the mining minigame. The minigame is basically a drill that keeps going down and you control it by moving left or right. Every resource it passes through is something you can collect at the end of its lifetime, but it may also be damaged or even destroyed if you're not careful enough. At the end of the process, you will be able to gather everything that you collected. Well, not everything. Your mining rig can only hold up to 500 units of resources.
Drill critical.
I have found so far 3 types of ships that are flying around the space. Friendly ships are alien ships that upon approach will prompt a trade exchange. So far I have only encountered the Globdons, and I feel trading is not very well addressed in this game. Out of all the trade offers I've received, all of them require me to give my precious civilians in exchange. The same civilians I'm trying so hard to protect. It would be nice if I was able to trade with spare parts and gems, or even resource for resource. During my playthrough, I was offered 250 units of biomatter in exchange on 250 civilians, which is not really a fair trade. Wreckages are other ships that weren't lucky enough to make it very far on their trip. You would need to send a shuttle if you want to recover whatever might be inside. I've so far only found parts and canisters of red and blue gems, and even in another run, I had the bad luck to lose some of my crew. Enemy patrols, and with this we talk about the combat. There are 2 ways enemies engage you. Either you linger in a quadrant long enough that they find you. You see this here? This is like a minimap. If it turns yellow, that means they're onto you. If it gets orange, you better be ready for what is about to happen. And there is also the occasional enemy patrol flying around that if they get too close to you, they will engage you. Combat is pretty easy and simple as long as you aren't dealing with more than 2 enemy ships. You have 4 slots that are assigned to your crew, and you should of course assign a crew with the highest skill. Toughness will make your shield last longer. Both weapon slots use the engineering skill, and the higher the skill, the more the chance to hit. The medical slot will reduce damage to your crew. Once your crew is in place, you will face off with the enemy ship. You are able to target 3 parts of the enemy: their shield module, their hull, or their weapons module. The interesting part, and what took me a while to figure out, was how to use my shield and bypass the enemies. You probably noticed the 3 color button in the weapons and shield. You can use these to change the frequency of your modules. A red shield will block red color weapons, while the other colors will hit normally. Enemy lasers will always have a glint of color before shooting, thus giving you time to use the appropriate shield. Other ships will shoot torpedoes at you, so you will have to take their flight time into consideration. In conclusion, I really like this game and I can feel it has a lot of potential. The incredible environments is simply eye candy and makes flying around with your ship a real pleasure. The constant threat of nasty aliens behind your tail when you're running low on food and simply need to stop on this planet is guaranteed enough to keep you on your toes. I would like to see more diversity when it comes to resource collection and trading, but my guess is this will all come in future updates. If you want to play it, my only advice would be wait for it. The devs are working hard and strong to implement new features and fix the issue, but we will only see this in due time.
Inbound. Command issue resolved.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you throw a thumbs up? While you're at it, you might as well click that subscribe button. I'll see you soon.